What's going on, all my loyal Dragon Knights in the Dragon Den? King of Dragons 5000 is back, coming at you with another action figure review. Today we'll be having a look at the Medicom Toys Mafex Zack Snyder's Justice League Superman. So, taking Superman out of the package, we are greeted by several different accessories. Starting with his head sculpts, we do get 4 very good head sculpts. We do get his neutral head, we get an angry head, we get a grimacing head, and then we get his enraged heat beam eye head as well. He also does come with 3 pairs of hands, which does include a pair of fists, as well as a pair of relaxed hands, and a pair of splayed open hands. Other than that, Superman doesn't come with any other accessories, so with that out of the way, let's get a closer look at Superman. Alright, and taking a closer look at Superman, we are greeted with a very good head sculpt to the actor. Now, this is much better than the original Superman figure that we got with the original Justice League movie, which kind of looked like an Asian Superman. This Superman head sculpt has a better likeness to Henry Cavill. Even though it's not 100% likeness to the actor, it's far cries better than that original head sculpt. And from certain angles, you can see Henry Cavill in there, so Mafex did a very good job improving the head sculpt on this figure. All the heads look really nice, with the exception of the grimacing head. I think that's the weakest head, but other than that, it's a fantastic look for Superman. So, having a closer look at his costume, this figure has a lot of rich detail in his overall appearance. He is done in this really beautiful shade of black, which has just enough shine to make it look like the actual suit from the movie. One thing I absolutely love is the S-Shield. There's a lot of detail here on the S-Shield, starting with the design that goes on the inside of the S-Shield, going all the way out to the side. So Mafex has spared no expense in the detailing of this Superman. The sculpt work is very similar to the original Superman figure that we got, with the exception of his shoulders. Mafex did improve the shoulders on this figure. They included some shoulder caps which do hide the gapping that the original figure was prone to. The shoulders are even modified so they don't have that ball joint at the bottom anymore. It looks more like a flush shoulder joint, which is one thing I really do like. It does improve the range of mobility as well. The detailing throughout the figure is very good. I especially love the charcoal silver piping that they put throughout the figure on the wristbands. It looks really nice. Even on the torso, I'm not a fan of lines for the sake of lines, but this actually has an organic feel to it, and you can see this dark silver charcoal mixing with the brighter silver, so I really do like that. It even goes on to the back of his outfit. One key detail that I am glad Mafex was able to keep with this figure is that on his belt buckle we do have an S-Shield, which was in the movie. It is very accurate to the detail, so I do like that. Overall, from head to toe, this is a very impressive figure. The piping also does go on his legs, which is one very good detail, and the way it looks, really good contrast from the black and the dark silver charcoal color that we got here. One detail that I really have to point out is his boots. Medicom actually made his boots two-tone. That's something you don't really see too well in the movie, but his boots were a more charcoal color, where his suit was a very shiny black. His boots were charcoal, and Mafex nailed that detail perfectly on this figure. From head to toe, cape, everything, this figure has it all. He even has a wireframe in his very gorgeous cape, which is made of a really soft material. It looks and feels really good in the hand. So overall, despite being mostly reused from an original Superman figure, this has enough to warrant the pickup. The detailing on him is just superb, and the head sculpts work for this figure. So with that out of the way, let's actually see how Superman stacks up to other characters you may have in your collection. So here we have Superman posed to our usual suspects. We have Superman posed next to a Marvel Legends Cyclops, as well as a DC Multiverse Superman. Here we have him with a WWE Elite Scale figure and Mezco's 1/12 Collective Popeye the Sailor Man. Now we have him posed next to a Lightning Collection White Ranger, as well as a Star Wars Black Series Mandalorian. And for one final comparison, we do have him posed next to the original Justice League Superman, so you can see there is some reuse here, but it's not 100%. Overall, really liking the comparison with this figure. So with that out of the way, let's move on to his articulation. Starting at the head, Superman is sporting a double ball joint in the head, as well as a secondary ball joint in his neck, providing a lot of good mobility. Moving on to his shoulders are on a ball joint that do allow some forward, back, up, and down pivoting, as well as all the way out horizontal, and does a full 360. Superman is also sporting your standard bicep swivel, which works really nicely, as well as a double hinge elbow. Superman is sporting a ball joint in the wrist, which does allow for some up, down, in and out mobility as well as rotation on that pin. Moving on to the torso, Superman is sporting a double ball joint in his upper torso as well as a ball joint connecting his waist to his lower torso, and that does provide some really good forward mobility, back mobility, side to side, as well as rotation at that mid torso and at his waist. Superman's hips do drop down and hinge out to the side as well as move forward and back. They do have a thigh swivel built in up toward the hip, so that's really good. Superman does have a double hinge in the knee, providing some really good range and mobility on his knee. Moving down to Superman's ankle, he does have a double ball joint in the ankle, which does provide some forward, back, side to side pivot, as well as some rotation. It's not the best setup, but it still functions. And then he does have a toe hinge. One final bit of articulation is Superman's wired cape, which does allow for some dynamic posing, and that's one thing I always love about Mafex is their beautiful wired capes. So with Superman's accessories, details, articulation, and comparisons out of the way, let's actually move on to my final thoughts on Zack Snyder's Superman. So having a final look here at Superman, Mafex has done a really good job capturing the look of the Zack Snyder's Justice League Superman. This is a very gorgeous figure, and I just love the detailing on him. Even though it is pretty much a reissue of a figure we got originally, just done in a new paint application, I think what we got here is a much stronger figure than that original Superman. The face does look a lot nicer on this figure, and I do like the accessories that go with him. Yes, we might have lost a pair of grip hands, but we did get that enraged head with the heat beam eyes, so overall, I think that's a really fair trade. A pair of hands for a really good head sculpt. Overall, this is a really impressive Superman, and being a huge fan of the Snyder Cut, this is a Superman I really wanted to have in my collection when I saw the Snyder Cut was announced, and I'm really happy that Mafex was able to give us the Snyder Cut black costume Superman. My hope is that they do issue all the other Justice League members in the Snyder Cut color schemes, Wonder Woman with the darker shades, Aquaman with the darker shades, and all that. I know we are getting Cyborg later on in this year, but as far as the rest of the figures, I want to see the other Mafex Justice League figures reissued in the Snyder Cut box set as well. I think the box is done very nicely, and it's a very beautiful box. I kind of want the other ones in this box to go along with Superman, but if we don't get those figures at all, I'm still happy with this Superman. Superman is going to run you about $80 if you did get him from sites like AmiAmi or Hobby Link Japan, as I did with mine. If you are getting him domestically from sites like Big Bad Toy Store or Entertainment Earth, he will run you about $104. So if you can get this Superman at retail, which is $80, definitely pick him up. I still think he is worth $104, but that's honestly just me being a little bit biased toward the Snyder Cut. If you can get hold of this Superman, I really recommend you do so. So with that being said, all my Dragonites, don't forget to like this video, leave a comment, subscribe to my channel, go ahead and check out all my other action figure reviews as well as all my other Mafex videos. Hopefully you guys find them informative. As always, if there's a figure you would like to see me review, let me know down in the comments, and if it fits in my collection, I'll gladly have a look at it. While you're at it, check out my Instagram account for new and exciting action figure photos and videos, and as always, ring that bell to be notified anytime I upload a video. Until next time guys, I'll see you later. Take care everyone.